Hello and welcome to another weekly roundup from the home of Pro AVL Central. The seasons are indeed changing. I've just returned to base camp following a 3-week trip to Singapore and Australia, where I ended up at the Sydney's ICC for this year's Integrate exhibition. Overall, it was a positive 3-day show, attended by the same high calibre of consultants, integrators and audio professionals. With Blackmagic Design, Laval with Pat, Quest, Riedel, Ross and Sonifex with On-Air Solutions all present and correct, it was hardly surprising that a growing number of broadcasters were in attendance. Similarly, I'm looking forward to the IBC in Amsterdam later next week, where I suspect a growing number of non-broadcasters will be scouring the halls of the RAI in search of AV solutions. Many critics unfairly paint the IBC as a stagnant broadcast show, but as we all know nowadays, the traditional broadcasters are jostling for attention amongst the YouTubers, TikTokers and esports fanatics. As such, the Open Forum IBC has experienced subtle, almost undetected seismic changes as exhibitors increasingly market their technologies towards podcasters, streamers and content creators. But before that, we have our own 3-day event in London to look forward to. Yes, PLASA opens for business on Sunday at Olympia, where an assortment of audio and lighting exhibitors will gather. Our checkmates Robe will be amongst those present on their discreet shell scheme, and KV2 Audio will be demonstrating their analogue systems in a demonstration room. There is a drinks party on the Monday night in celebration of 40 years of Light and Sound International. Congratulations to our friends from Eastbourne. And of course, it wouldn't be London without there being a strike taking place. You guessed it, London Underground. In Valern, Austria, AV Stumpfl has consolidated and enhanced its internal workflow with the opening of a new 2,200 square metre production hall at its headquarters. Marking a milestone during the company's 50th anniversary, the expansion comes in response to rising global demand and will effectively double AV Stumpfl's manufacturing capacity. The annual NMK season kickoff took place on Wednesday night at the new location of Wave House Atlantis. Over 300 industry professionals gathered to enjoy a relaxed evening of conversations, live entertainment, bowling and arcade games, finishing with a prize draw for which the prizes included a luxury staycation and a shark dive. So Dubai. A couple of notable appointments to announce. Following a recent change of its management hierarchy, including the appointment of Davide Morciani as CEO, Italian RF technology specialist Wisycom has announced that Anne Berggrein is now its Chief Marketing Officer. Anne brings over 3 decades of market experience, including 21 years in the high-end pro audio industry, which includes that 16-year stint as Vice President of Marketing at DPA Microphones. Given DPA Microphones' close strategic partnership with Wisycom, Ms Berggrein will oversee the continued synergy between both product lines. Coming in as Vice President of Product Management, Christie has announced the appointment of Jim Hallas. Reporting to President Michael Phipps, Hallas will oversee the company's display product strategy across the cinema, Pro AV and industrial markets. And down in Melbourne, look who's back at Group Technologies, none other than Drew Menard. Having dedicated more than 2 decades to sales, systems design and training during the distributor's formative years, the prodigal son of the Midwest and chicken vindaloo lover returns to Pascoe Vale as head of audio. His background spanning touring, live production, sound design, consulting and education includes over a decade on the road with international artists including The Prodigy and Oasis during his stints at Johnson Audio Services in Australia and SSE Audio Group in the UK. But we wrap up this week's edition on a very sombre note, following the news that our dear friend Tim Chapman had passed away at home in Turkey last weekend. He was 74. A legendary marketing figure for many decades, Tim certainly made his mark during his time at Turbo Sound and Crest Audio in the UK, before moving on to Crest Audio in New Jersey, MEA Sound in Berkeley, California, and TC Group in Scotland. A Yorkshire native, Tim's marketing prowess was unique and an inspiration to those around him. And for those who never accompanied Tim to a hostelry of his choice, Tim certainly knew how to entertain. In fact, Nam was never quite the same once he surrendered his poolside meeting table at the Anaheim Marriott. Rest in peace, Tim. We've lost a leading light. That's a wrap for this week, but I look forward to catching up with familiar faces at PLASA and IBC over the coming week. Until next time, stay well, stay informed and stay in touch. I'll see you.